Hello everybody, today I'm going to do an unboxing for Hedgehog Hollow's July 2018 card kit, and this one is featuring Sunny Studios. So in this month's box you get obviously your list of what's in your kit, and there's also some discount coupon codes in there. You get a full bottle of the Nouveau Harvest Moon Glitter Accents. You also get, since this is Sunny Studios box, you get the little Coastal Cuties by them. And we're going to use those in the card that I make right after this unboxing. You get some sentiments called Over the Rainbow and a rainbow die that cuts out the word rainbow. Some Rick Rack dies. They can also be used for water. They look kind of, seen a couple people use the water ones. This is Nina Copic friendly paper that I usually cut in half and use for stamping. There's some cardstock in the kit to make if you want to follow along with the videos that she does to using all the products in the kit. And then these papers, so see how many papers, there's tons of them, but these is also from Sunny Studios, and this one is called Rainbow Bright, and double-sided, super bright, cute papers that I'm also going to use in a couple of cards. Here's the card that we're going to make today. And we're going to start with the base of the card. I'm going to do the clouds. So I just take my white base and I made my own stencil. And I'm going to use the, I think that one's Broken China for my clouds. And I started going from top to bottom and then realized I needed to go from the bottom to the top. So I'll fix that in a second. It's a little difficult to go the other way and still actually have clouds that look like clouds. So I flip it over and then start from the basically where I want my clouds to start, and I just start moving it up and just change the direction of the clouds. I just used a cloud border die on a thick piece of plastic and just made my own stencil. Then I'm going to do the water and the sand for the beach. So for the water, it's just using some, I believe that one was Faded Jeans. And I also wanted to use a little bit of a darker one, but I don't have that in the Distress Oxide, so I'm just going to use the Distress Ink, and that one's Stormy Skies. So we'll just put a little bit of the Stormy Skies in there, which now that I'm looking at the video, I can't really see the Stormy Skies very well, but I can see it in person. So I'm going to take a little Distress Sprayer, do some little water dots, and then do some big water dots using my hand, and then set that aside to dry. This card is using some elements from other stamp kits that I get, because I wanted like a full beach scene, and there's some things that I just don't have yet in my stash. So I pulled from another one of my card kits that also was kind of themed the same with the beachy theme for the sentiment and a couple of the other elements that are going to be on the beach part of the scene. Those two little girls are just too cute not to use in this card. So I had to find a bunch of stuff to go with it. For the sand, I'm just using antique linen for the base of the sand, and then I'm just going to use some, I think it's walnut stain for the dots that I'm going to put. So I'm just going to use that flick technique with the water and the paintbrush to kind of give it like a spattering look throughout the sand, just so that it's not so flat. And I'm also going to use the vintage photo a little bit later. You'll see what I use that one for. So for the water, what I wanted to do was make it kind of dimensional. So I wanted to do kind of layers. And I wanted the water to have I didn't want it to be plain on the top. So I'm just ripping right along my cut line, and it kind of gives it like that little, I don't know, oceany kind of look, which is what I wanted. So I'm just going to rip this, and then I think that's going to look really cute together. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the sand. I'm just going to kind of roughly do the same thing with the ripping the top, but for this one I'm going to take the antique linen and go over the top and the edge and the sides just to kind of darken that up a little bit. Oh, this one is the vintage photo, sorry, vintage photo. Just kind of go around and give the edges a little bit of color. Then when I line everything up and pop up certain elements, it gives you a nice little base for your coastal cuties to sit on. So now I'm just going to attach all of this and figure out my placement for my little girls to my card. So the sand is going to go directly onto the card base, and then the water is going to kind of, the back piece is going to go directly on, and then the front piece is going to be popped up so that the little girl in the tube can be sitting kind of behind that most forward wave of water. And then we're going to take a stitched rectangle die, and we're going to cut this out. And I wanted the sand and the water to have that same stitched edge, so I waited till I put it together and then cut it out. And then this is how it's going to look on my card base. So I stamped and colored my coastal cuties, and now I'm going to put them on the card. So the little girl is going to sit directly in the water with a little tube, just kind of floating along, and her buddy is going to go up in the sand with her pail. So I popped her up on the sand, and then I wanted some elements on the beach that are kind of beachy. So I wanted an umbrella. I didn't have a stamp, so I just made my own umbrella, which it looks silly, but I think it's cute actually. And I used the papers that came in the kit. Now I want that part of the umbrella behind her, and then I'm just going to attach the umbrella to the top with some dimensional foam and trim off the excess pieces. Now at this point I ran out of stuff to put on the page because I wanted more beach scene stuff on there. So once I popped up my panel and put it on my card base and trimmed off my excess on the umbrella, I had to kind of go away for a day and think about it, because I know I wanted things on there that I didn't have stamps for. And then my other kit came in, and this is also a beach themed one, and it was perfect because it had all these little things that could go on the beach. So I stamped and cut out the little pail, colored it in, stamped and cut out the little sand castle, and I stamped there was a little shovel, and I stamped that directly onto the backing, and I put the pail right above it, so it kind of looks like it's hanging out behind the castle. And then I'm going to pop up the sand castle and put that right over, kind of in front of the green pail. I thought I needed dimensional adhesive because of the layers under it, but I didn't. I probably could have just done that straight to the back, and then I wouldn't be fussing with it so much right now to get it straight. I also used a sentiment from another card kit that I get with the Happy Beach Day, and then used just the white embossing powder to I thought it would look cute in the waves. This little sun and some little starfish and a little shell are also from another die set that I have that I got at a scrapbook convention that just worked out perfectly because I thought that the sand needed just a little bit of color, and so I kind of just put my little starfish and my little shell on, and that's it. That's the end of my card. I hope you enjoy this video, give you some ideas on beach card, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.